Hey guys, it's Rush. Hope we're doing well. Welcome back to the channel. This video today, I want to talk about a configuration change I've made to my controller, particularly on the Octopro and the Victrix. Now, you can't do this for every single control pad out there. It does require software where you can remap buttons and disable buttons. But that particular change is stopping the up button on the D-pad from being jump. What I've done on both of these pads is I've disabled the up button from being jump, and I've mapped L2 on each pad to be my jump button. So in this video today, we'll talk about why I've done that and how to achieve that with particular controllers. So first, let's talk about why I've made this change. So with D-pads like this, where it's one singular piece, the up, down, left, right inputs are all on D-pad. They're not separate individual buttons. It's all one essential button can be moved around to press those different directional inputs. Now for me, if you look at my thumb position on the Octopro, it's the same for the Victrix. Look where my thumb naturally sits. The tip of my thumb is way up here. So I am using the ball, the joint of my thumb to get my inputs. Now, I would admit that this creates a level of inaccuracy with your inputs. My inputs are not super clean. I don't have super good execution. I would say it's average. It's decent at best, but I do think a lot of that is because I'm using the joints of my thumb, and you can see if I'm doing things like quarter circle forward, quarter circle back, quick drag and punch inputs, there is a chance that I can roll and press an up input, and that's where the misinputs occur. So there is an element of it being how I'm holding the pad, the D-pad, but I also feel because it's a one-piece D-pad, that also enables you to get accidental up inputs. I know players that play on D-pad, on analog stick, and they have this issue. Not a massive issue, doesn't occur all the time, but sometimes you can get accidental jumps. So the combination of my thumb position on the D-pad and the fact that it's a one-piece D-pad, non-individual inputs, for your up, down, left, right. That's why I toyed with the idea of disabling the up button and setting a button on the controller to be jump. So what you see on screen now is the Hori companion app. So if I go into the application, you have the option on your selected profile to map buttons. You can map buttons, change mappings, and you can actually disable inputs. So you can see here the up input on the D-pad has been marked as disabled, and the button here, so I think by default the L2 is actually right stick button. Let's just call it L2. L2 is set to the up button, as you can see here. So again, to reiterate, not all pads will be able to do this. It will depend on your controller. The only two I know are this controller and the Victrix BFG pads. They have a companion app where you can remap buttons and disable buttons. I've done the exact same thing on the Victrix. This does mean that you will lose a button. So depending on your configuration, you may not want to do this because you'll lose a button on your pad. But with 6-button fight pads in particular that have full shoulder buttons and 6 face buttons, I have more buttons to map because I have a right stick button, left stick button mappable on the controller. So for me, it wasn't a big issue. I had drive impact as an example set as L2. I just changed drive impact to L1 now, and now I have L2 set as my jump button. Right, so the big question is, how does this feel in game? And I'll be honest, the first few weeks, I'd say the first month, was a painful process. When I thought about it, pressing L2 to jump was very easy to do. But if I was reacting to something, say like a command grab, I would default to pressing up. And sometimes I'm still doing that at the moment. We're talking 30 years of muscle memory versus 2 months of practice using L2 as jump. So there's a long way to go, but I've got used to it now and I don't have to think about it too much. If you want to jump forward and backwards, it's always best to like hold the left or the right and then press it, and it will always come out. With those actual motion inputs now, it's very easy to get them. Never an issue with motion inputs in the past, but there's no way now if I exaggerate this and go up after the input. Oops, wrong button. If I do that, there's no way to get a miss input because there's no up button on the D-pad. And honestly, this has been a massive improvement for my execution. It's just a very extreme way of doing it. I don't think it'll be for everyone. Not everybody will need to do this because you're not getting those misinputs. If you're using the tip of your thumb, I think you'll be fine. I don't think you have to worry about it too much. But for me, using the joint of my thumb and just wanting to make sure that my execution is precise on the one-piece D-pad, then yeah, it's such a good change. So the one thing I haven't mastered yet on the L2 as jump on this pad is doing dive kicks. So doing a dive kick as you get off the ground. So Ken has a dive kick in Street Fighter 5, and it's done by doing quarter circle back whilst you're in the air. So what I used to do, it's a bit tricky now because I haven't practiced this. So I would jump and then I would input my quarter circle back. So it'd be something like, this is very difficult because I've not practiced it. There we go. So that's the dive kick. And what I'm doing there is I'm holding forward, I'm tapping L2 and I'm doing a quarter circle back. There we go. That's quite a quick one. As soon as he goes up in the air, there we go. That I haven't practiced yet. That feels very strange to me, inputting that sequence. Trying to do instant dive kicks, so doing a quarter circle back and then tapping forward and L2 to get a low dive kick with a character like Cammy is very difficult with this method. So if you have a character with an instant dive kick, this may not be a good solution. So just be wary of that. So that is it for the video, guys. I was really excited to share that with you because I have this lovely controller, as you see in front of you, but I've also got that modified controller layout. So with the controller being the one now and that layout change, I'm in a really good place when it comes to my controller option. It is a painful process switching to the L2 being jump, so it's not for everybody, but I highly recommend giving it a go if you've ran into similar issues that I've experienced and you have a pad where you can customize button layout. For me, it took 2 months of casual play to get used to it. So if you play more often, you'll get used to it a lot faster. It will be painful. You've just got to deal with it and just adapt to the changes. But once it clicks, it feels really good. So best of luck. Any questions, any queries, always give me a shout and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.